Hello and welcome to this very, very special edition of Off the Cuff, one to cherish. Because our guest today is none else than His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, the man blessed with so much wisdom that he can bless the entire humanity with it. But even more than that, for people like me who don't have much intellect, Your Holiness, a man blessed with a smile that can light up the most dark of places. So we are so privileged to have you with us, Your Holiness.
Thank you.
Welcome to OTC. So Holiness, let me start with a simpleton's question. You came to India 68 years ago.
No,
58 years ago. 58 years ago. 58 years ago. My math was always poor. 58 years ago. In 58 years, we have seen in India and elsewhere, most institutions, people, minds with stature decline. It's a very messy world. It's a very messy country, India. It's very messy. Messy, troublesome. Troubled. It's also very troubled where you came from. How do you keep your sanity, and how do you make sure that your stature spiritually, intellectually, morally has grown and not declined? You are now the rock star of spirituality and moral authority in the world.
I think basically I'm a student of Nalanda tradition. So we emphasize more our intelligence rather than faith. So therefore, I think everybody, if we utilize our sort of ability of the intelligence, then firstly, any problem, you see, look at that problem not closely, from distance. And also, any problem, not something independent or absolute, due to many other factors. So keep in your mind open and try to see the different sort of elements or becomes the causes of that problem. Then your sort of frustration automatically reduces. So look, I think even you see very, very sort of the sad, tragic thing. If you look from a wider perspective, that tragic thing might create some positive things. So keeping in our mind all these sort of option or possibility, then the anxiety or unbearable feeling, then much reduced.
So look for the big picture.
That's right.
Not one minor, not one narrow focus point.
No. And then, like Tibetan problem. Yes, it's very serious, very sad. But looking from the global level, one of the problem, in some cases even worse. So that usually makes differences, your emotional feeling.
So, Holiness, look at the state of the world today. Even if you look at the big picture, the entire world seems to be in turmoil. Democracy is stepping back. Dictatorial tendencies are rising all over the world. So, in today's world, even the big picture may not give us much comfort. How do you deal with that? If you look at America, Russia, China, India, Turkey, Israel, just around the world?
My fundamental sort of view, world belongs to humanity. And each nation actually belongs to the people, not a few individual leaders or like that. So, I believe people. I have faith. Human being, if our basic nature more more alive, I believe human nature is more compassionate and sensible. So I believe, you see, people. Then leader, come, go, come and go. People always remain.
So, Your Holiness, in this situation, the leader of the world's most powerful country, and I ask you this also as an honored guest of India, and in a way, the brand ambassador for refugees all over the world. When the leader of the most powerful country in the world starts banning entry for refugees, how do you deal with it?
That's quite a complicated sort of event. I think many people already expressed their view. So not necessarily to say my view. Pick up.
No, your advice, not view.
I think you are referring the American president.
Yes, sir.
So I thought during election, you see, use maximum way about the freedom of expression. So then once you see take responsibility, then logically be more realistic. That's my sort of feeling. But last few days, you see the new president's sort of the action, more and more people now, they have sort of different view, or including some criticisms. So my own sort of position is wait and see.
And what is your advice to President Trump? I know you will meet him soon, but when you meet him, what will your advice be on this? Will you tell him that he is in a hurry?
That I don't know. I usually, you see, without any note, without any preparation, you see, public talk or meeting some individual, I just, you see, meet and judge the atmosphere. Then accordingly, I talk. Nothing prepared. So, when you see President, Trump, isn't it?
Trump, yes.
You see, have an opportunity meeting, then I will judge the atmosphere and his sort of famous sort of hair, like that. Then you see his like that or something like that. So then we'll judge the atmosphere, and then accordingly I express my view. So I have nothing, say, something you see, already you see, if when I sort of have the opportunity meeting him, and I must say this, I must say that. No, nothing. That's what I usually do. I never take note.
That I know.
Oh, very frank, open, sincere. That's important.
I mean, you also remembered the conversation we had 10 years back in Dharamshala.
Right.
And asked me for the state of my head. So,
more shining.
More shining than before, yes.
So that's because of shining.
Not necessarily from wisdom.
From wisdom.
Not
getting older, more wisdom.
more wisdom. So, Holiness, wisdom. Even the discourses you've been holding last few days have been about discovering old Indian wisdom. and you call India your guru, and now you Buddhists, now Tibetans have become India's gurus. So how do you get wisdom from Indian tradition while keeping it secular?
That's the important matter. As you mentioned, when I first came as a refugee, of 56 I came, Buddha Jainist liberation. This is firstly short, and secondly, a lot of more or less official functions. So the knowledge, depth, not much. And then, after 59, came to India as a refugee, and Pandit Nehru, immense helpful. And Rajendra Prasad, wonderful. And the Rajaji also, like that. So then I think then mid-70s, my first visit to Europe, and seeing those nations much industrialized and highly sort of developed, material sort of thing. And their life, materialistic life, way of life. So when we met individual, a few moments, you see, we greeting some nice things. Then when we become known each other more closer, there are a lot of complaint, too much stress, too much worry. Then meantime, I also you see, start serious discussion with scientists. So then gradually, you see, many scientists, you see, really showing interest about our knowledge about our human emotions and how to tackle emotion. In these fields, many scientists really showing genuine interest. Mainly it's 4 fields: cosmology, neurobiology, and physics, especially quantum physics, then psychology. In these 4 fields, after 30 years of serious discussion with scientists, it became clear to us from their knowledge about cosmology and the neurobiology, these things. The physics, quantum physics, the essence we already know, because ancient Indian sort of philosophy, particularly Nagarjuna's philosophy, or Arya Asanga Busubandhu's sort of philosophy, that is mind-only sort of school of thought. And the Madhyamika philosophy, particularly Nagarjuna's, nothing independently exists. So these, so we found, you see, the quantum physics, they say this external thing does not exist objectively. So this, we already know these things. Then the psychology. Many scientists now really find useful information from our knowledge, from our discussions. Then I realized all our knowledge come from India. That's the reason I usually call Indian traditionally our guru. So therefore, I felt, India's ancient knowledge, these things, not only ancient one, but also very relevant to today's world. So therefore, the Indian tradition, firstly, fuller knowledge about human emotions, human mind. Then with fuller knowledge about emotion, then there are also, you see, different method to deal with these emotions. So then I felt, oh, ancient Indian sort of knowledge is something could be very, very useful on this planet. So therefore, now look, India, traditionally you are so much sort of knowledge, these things. But modern Indian, neglected.
Neglected.
So modern Indian, I think, rushing to build materialistic society. So that, I think, one sort of the result is too much thinking about money. So a lot of corruptions. So people very much complain about that. But then complain not sufficient. We must go deeper level. What's the causes? So the moral ethics, self-discipline, honest, truthful. You see, these, if we emphasize these principles, then these telling lie, cheating, corruption, bully, these automatically reduce. Just the criticism, not sufficient. So therefore, I felt, oh, India's ancient knowledge is something very useful.